What's good, everybody? It's Big Game James, man. I'm back in these streets. I'm back in these work streets. And I just want to drop a quick video, man. I just really talking my heart right now. I'm really frustrated about these Cowboys. Not really frustrated, but you have something that you loved for a very long time, your football team for a very long time, and you see these things that are happening. And I understand it. You ain't winning the Super Bowl every single year. It's a hard thing to do. The NFL is a hard league. It's hard to win games. It's not easy. One team is only going to win it every year. That's it. So it's hard to do. So I get it. But for me, I'm going to just be totally straight up honest. I battle with this so much. But number one, I put out there in the streets about a month ago, and I asked is Dak Prescott becoming injury prone? You know, when first was in the league, nothing. But ever since he's had that broken ankle that ended this season in 2020, it's been, hamstring strains and broken thumbs and, now you just tore your hamstring off the bone. I was just saying, all those injuries that are just now coming up since this 2020 season, and it's not like Dak is younger. He's 30 years old now. You feel me? And now these injuries are starting to pile up. So I'm in my head, you got Trey Lance. I felt like I know why you did it. You did it to try to see if you had something to use a bargaining chip against Dak Prescott. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever you want to do it. This ain't about the Joneses right now, kind of. This is just about my frustration of this. And I'm just being real. And, man, I promise you, I'm not a hater, man. I promise y'all I'm not a hater. But, I wish they just never would have re-signed Dak. Yeah, I wish they wouldn't have signed Dak Prescott. I ain't gonna lie. I waited to the very end. I knew they were going to sign a CD Lamb because this was his first deal. This was going to be his first major deal, and he wasn't going to get traded or nothing like Dallas. Dallas don't do nothing like that. So I was never thinking CD Lamb was never not going to get signed. All right? But I did have my doubts of Dak Prescott being re-signed. I had serious doubts. I really thought he could go somewhere else. And I really wanted him to go somewhere else. I was very vocal about it. In the months before he signed his deal with Dallas, I said I wanted him to go because of all the noise. Tired of hearing the noise about him. Tired of hearing Cowboys fans, content creators, every media. If Dak has a great game, everybody's on Twitter talking about, see, I told you my quarterback was good. See, I told you. Why we always have to prove that Dak is good? You get what I'm saying? People are just going to hate. Anytime you mention another you mentioned another quarterback and he did something really good. Or he did something bad. Oh, see, he's doing it and you ain't saying nothing about him. It's almost like they always got to pump this up to let us know that Dak is good. You don't hear these other people saying that about Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Josh, the kid over there at Buffalo. Just flipped my mind, but Josh Allen. But you don't hear, I don't hear a lot of their fans just, see, look, he did this and look at our quarterback. Maybe they do. I'm not around them. But it just seems like everybody's always trying to defend Dak, whether it's bad or good. There's always some kind of defense of that. And I just feel like, dog, if you just good, you ain't got to defend that all the time. And I just feel like Dak is a good quarterback. I don't think Dak is a great quarterback. I've gone back and forth with this since he's been drafted. I made videos saying that I think he could take Dallas to a Super Bowl. I've said it. I said it in 2021 when they had good teams. But I'm going to be honest with you. I felt like he had that window, in my opinion, in that 21, 22, 23. That was a 3-year window where you had good enough teams to get to at least a championship or even to a Super Bowl. You had good enough teams. You had a good enough defense. You had a good enough offense. Although 2022, I'd love to have an Amari Cooper instead of the Michael Gallup. That was front office. But at the end of the day, you still had enough teams in those 3 years. And it ain't all on Dak. So please I don't want you to think that the reason why they lost all those games was because Dak Prescott. I'm not putting all that blame on him. The coaches, everybody played a factor in it, right? But the fact of the matter is, they ain't going to do nothing with the Joneses. But it's just Dak, you're not going to win here. And You had those opportunities with the teams that were good teams to win here, and it still didn't happen. So I'm sorry. I'm to the belief 8 years, and you had good teams. Now all of a sudden you're going to win something now? We going to miraculously get a team, and you're going to do it now? And I feel like you're injury prone now. I feel that way. And I'm sorry, I just don't see it. I just don't see this tenure with Dallas doing anything with that. And personally, if you was going to start over and you knew you kind of wanted to start over, Jerry, you should have just went all the way in. If you're talking about going all in, you shouldn't have re-signed Dak. You should have just got you a quarterback, got you a coach. The team is relatively still young. I mean, and you got a lot of people with contracts that are going to be gone. So you're going to have more money on the plate, more draft picks. You're going to have high draft picks. You could really start the whole damn thing over. You could have. And you didn't. And from my perspective, I see why you did it, because you didn't have the fallback plan that you thought you had, in my opinion, with Trey Lance that flopped on you. Now you backed in a corner and you're like, what I'm going to do? What I'm going to do? And I feel like that's why you always take so long to sign him, because you're having your doubts about him. Do I really want to sign him to make him the highest paid, give him these guarantees, let him do it? Because he ain't going nowhere and we on the hook. Do I really want to do this? But I'm 82. I don't got no options. Trey Lance thing failed. I don't want to sit there and be waiting forever. I ain't 52. Because I believe if Jerry Jones was younger, I think he might have moved on from that. Just me. Because I don't know if Jerry Jones totally believes all the way in Dak. And I feel like that's why it always takes them so long to sign him. Not just because of them negotiations, and I feel like Dak don't trust them. That's why he went hard on the negotiations the way he did. But, in saying that, I just wish Dak would have never signed here. I just really wish he would have never re-signed. I feel like 8 years was enough. But yeah, I had to put that on pause right quick on my pay at work. But yeah, man, I just don't have a good outlook for the next 3 years under Dak and Jerry. I just don't feel like nothing's going to happen. I feel like, you're going to might get some exciting players in this draft, and that'll be good. But I feel like it's going to be the same thing. I just don't feel like Dak is going to win a championship with Jerry, the owner. I feel like if there was any chance of that happening, that window was 2016. It was a rookie year window. 2018, that was a damn good year. Something could have happened and it didn't. 21, 22, 23. So you had 5 years of good teams. Even though he was a rookie, 2016, I get it. And once again, these aren't all on Dak. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is he is the quarterback. And failures keep happening under him as the quarterback. And I just don't feel when you've already had really good teams and it didn't work, it's all of a sudden going to work now. You're coming back from injury, being older, and now all of a sudden it's going to happen. Especially with all that dysfunction with Jerry. I'm sorry, I just don't see it. So I feel like it's going to be 3 more years of frustration, y'all. Just from me. And I am frustrated because I feel like it should have been a total rebuild. I feel like it all should have started over. I feel like you should have just ate that cap thing for 1 year. It was only 1 year. You only would have had a rookie quarterback anyway. So, and you still had a whole bunch of picks. So you really couldn't have did nothing anyway. So 1 year, eat that. You should have started it all the way over. Your receiver is young. He's not old. Micah's still young if you wanted to keep him. And then you could have got picks. Or if you wanted to flip him out, like you could have did a lot of things instead of doing that. And I just feel like that's going to be a hindrance going forward, in my opinion. It's always going to be spoken on. It's always going to be talked about. And it's always going to be in the media. And, one last thing. I'm not piling on this because I've seen the streets. A lot of people are talking about getting rid of Dak. And it is what it is. I'm not saying to trade him now or anything like that. If you're going to stay what it is, I just feel like it's going to be a lot of failure. Just me. It's going to be a lot of failure. And I just feel like it should have never happened. And Dak, I get it. This is your team. You've always loved this team, and you want to be the one to show that I can make this do different. But you're still dealing with that same person up top, and I just don't know if you're on that level to do it. So you're a really good quarterback. You're a really good quarterback, but you're not a great quarterback to me. And you don't have to be a great quarterback to win a Super Bowl. You don't, because there's a whole bunch of other factors that happen. But I just feel like 16, 18, 21, 22, 23, that's 5 years of times where you could have had it. And I know we've seen Peyton Manning. I know y'all could come back and be like, I've seen Peyton Manning go time and time and time again, and he finally broke through. You're right. But for me, I just feel like that you should have went somewhere else, bro. And this should have been a complete rebuild. And that noise would have been gone. Dak could have had his career and seen if he could have won it somewhere else. And then you could have started all over, and then you wouldn't have had to hear that noise because it would have been a brand new quarterback with a brand new coach. And there ain't going to be that noise. You know what I mean? So, we'll see. What happens in these coming months, draft and all that. But, yeah, that's where I'm at right now with this team. Frustration. Big Game James. I'm out.